Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is The Global Legacy, and I'm back here today with another PC gaming video. And I made a video a while back about the Xbox One and why I thought it was going to be better than the PS4. Basically, at one point in the video, I said, Xbox is going to be better than PS4, but the PC just blows all consoles out of the water, and you should just get a PC and all this stuff. And a lot of guys in the comments started flaming me, saying stuff like, I don't want a huge tower. I want to just sit back on my couch and relax and just play games, and I want to do this and that, and I don't want to spend $2,100 or whatever. You do some weird number like 2,000 something, and I was like, just please stop there. Just please stop there. Yeah, I put this PC build together on PC Part Picker, and I think I'm gonna make this build once I sell this current one that I have, because I'm really interested in the whole, like console killer kind of thing. But here we go. I tried to cut a couple corners to keep the price down, but you could add extra performance if you wanted to spend upwards like $700. But right here, this is a $639, $640 build that it would kick any consoles, but really easily, and it's super small form factor wise, and it's got a ton of horsepower, and you can do whatever you want in this build. So we're going to start off with the CPU. The CPU is not that important in a straight-up gaming rig, and we needed something that could play all games without bottlenecking our GPU, but also be able to be a mini have a platform that's available in a mini ITX form factor. That eliminates all of the AMD FX series CPUs, like the 6300, the 4100, the 8350, all the ones that are the 4 numbers consecutively. Those aren't available in a mini ITX motherboard. They just don't have any AM3 Plus boards that are a mini ITX. So we're going with the AMD Athlon X4 760K. This is a quad-core processor. It's 3.8 gigahertz. It's basically a A10 6800K without the graphics chip, and that's fine. It's 75 bucks. You can find it 75 bucks pretty much anywhere on the internet. I mean, Newegg.com I think right now has it for 80. Amazon, you can probably get it for 70 really easily. So I just put 75 down there, and you can probably get these on sale on a Newegg flash sale for 65. If you can do that, then you'll bring the build down to like, I don't know, 615. To go for a CPU cooler to keep this cool, since it is unlocked, and even though the stock clock is 3.8 gigahertz, I mean, you could probably ramp that thing up to 4.5 really easily, and that'll give you even more performance if you want to do things like video editing or rendering or something like this on this PC. So we're gonna go with the Noctua NHL9A CPU cooler. It's low profile, and that's what we need for this build, considering that it's pretty much the size of an Xbox One, or maybe just a little bit bigger. I've seen pictures of this build in comparison to an Xbox 360, and they're pretty similar, just a little bit bigger. So pretty much the size of an Xbox One. For the motherboard, we're going with the Gigabyte GAF2AAAX and Wi-Fi. It's an FM2 Plus motherboard. It has Wi-Fi built in. I mean, all this stuff. I wanted to get something that would be similar to what you would get with an Xbox One, PlayStation 4 when it comes to, like, it's got optical audio, it's got USB 3, it's got USB 2, it's got dual HDMI outs, which you're not going to need because we have the graphics card. It's got a DVI out too. We got a PS2 port if you need a keyboard and mouse, which you probably won't. I recommend putting SteamOS on this, putting an Xbox 360 controller attached to it, and just sit back on your couch like that. But it does have Wi-Fi built in, gigabit LAN, 4 USB 2, 2 USB 3, and a 8-channel 7.1 audio out. This is a $93 motherboard. You can probably get it for cheaper on a flash sale somewhere. I mean, that's usually where I get all my PC components, is on flash sales. So if this drops down to like 85, grab it. I mean, there's plenty of FM2 Plus mini ITX boards. Just make sure they're mini ITX, and make sure you get something with SATA 3. You're gonna want something with USB 3. I mean, that kind of stuff. It doesn't seem very important now, but in 2 years, I mean, I assume you want this build to last more than a year. For the memory, we're going with 8 gigabytes, 1x8 stick, considering that the motherboard only has two slots. We're going to want to be able to upgrade later in the life cycle of this build. So right now we're going to grab one 8 gig stick of Corsair XMS memory at $70 on Newegg. and DDR3 1600, which is a little bit low compared to the consoles, but we're not relying on video memory, or we're not relying on system memory right now. We're relying on video memory with our R9 280. For storage, we're gonna go with the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1 terabyte drive. I mean, it's a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's it's twice the space as either console, and it's, I don't know, go get a hard drive out of your mom's laptop. I don't care. Hard drives are so inexpensive these days. Really, it's $50 for a 1 terabyte, pretty much. $70 for a 2 terabyte, $100 for a 3 terabyte. Just grab a hard drive. You can get. I've seen 500 gigs go for like 30 bucks. Just just get a hard drive. If you want an SSD, I don't think an SSD would fit this budget if you drop the hard drive. But I mean, if you want to go, if you can find something on sale like the ADATA SX900, I mean that's really quality drive. Kingston Hyper X3K, OCZ Vertex 4. I mean, all these SSDs would be great for this build. I mean, it doesn't matter what brand it goes with, but that's really good if you want to decrease your load time, stuff like that. For the video card, as I said before, we're going with the Radeon R9 280, 3 gigabytes. This is totally subjective to me. You could choose pretty much any video card on the market these days below pretty much a 780, considering our power supply can only be up to 450 watts. So I'd say R9 280 is pretty much the sweet spot for this. I've seen R9 280s go on Amazon and go on eBay for somewhere around $120 to $170. So I put this as $150. If you go on eBay, if you're okay with getting a used one, grab an R9 280 or 7950, they're the same card. Grab one of those for $120. If you don't feel comfortable with that, go on Amazon, pick up one for $170, or find a flash sale, get it for $150. I mean, somewhere around that range. The Asus one I would recommend, just make sure it's a smaller cooler. Like the Sapphire one's fine, any of the reference ones are fine. Make sure it's a smaller dual slot cooler, because of this case, it's not going to allow for any larger coolers. Like I think the DirectCU 2 top is one of those, and I don't know, just make sure it's a dual slot cooler. For the case, we're going with the Silverstone RVZ01B Mini ICX desktop case. It's a Raven series, so you know that it's going to look cool, and you also know that it's going to be very good airflow-wise. This case is pretty much the main component of this build. The reason it can maintain such a small form factor and also be able to put so much hardware in there is because it uses a PCI Express riser to be able to connect your graphics card to your motherboard, which means that it's pretty much having your graphics card sideways, which gives it a lot more ventilation if you have it upwards or if you have it on its side. And it's got some, it's really cool. It's got a pass-through for your power supply, which goes in the front. I've seen builds that have been, crazy with this. I've seen 780 Ti's. I mean, I've seen, you could go with a socket 1150 if you really wanted to, or a socket 1155. I just say that I used an FM2 Plus because I thought that it would be cheaper, and it's pretty much all we need for this gaming build. But depending on your budget, you can switch that out. Make sure you're using a mini ITX board. I cannot stress that enough. This case can be used in either vertical or horizontal configuration, and I think it looks really cool either way. It's got 2 front USB 3s, headphone microphone port, which you're probably not going to be able to use if you're going to be using this as a Steam box. You're probably going to be using it as a, more wireless headphones, that kind of thing. But you could use this as just a classic desktop. For the power supply, we have to use an SFX power supply, which is pretty much just a smaller form factor Silverstone power supply. Right now we're using the Silverstone ST45SF. It's a 450 watts power supply. It is not non-modular, and it's 80 plus bronze, I believe. Yes, they do have a 80 plus gold fully modular 600 watt power supply. I did not think we needed that, and yeah, I mean, it's a 450 watt power supply. When you have an 80 plus bronze power supply, that's pretty much the average wattage that it can output. I mean, Silverstone's one of the biggest brands of power supplies out there, so I mean, for $70, it's not a bad power supply. Of course, you could get the higher wattages at lower prices if you were using an ATX power supply, but we can't use that in this build. That's the problem. We could use an EVGA Hadron Air, excuse me, or use a BitPhoenix Prodigy or something like that, but for this build I wanted it to be something very small that would look really good. Going back to the case, Silverstone also has another case that uses pretty much the exact same layout, but it's cheaper and it's not a Raven series, which means it doesn't have as good airflow. That case is called the Silverstone Tech, I believe. You can just search that up on Amazon. I'll throw a link in the description here, which is about 65 as opposed to 85 the case wise. So if you want to drop a couple more dollars off of that, then I mean, we'll be looking at somewhere around $600 for a very, very powerful gaming PC. The Asus Radeon R9 280, if you get that one, that could literally run any game at 1080p at max settings. I'm at 30 plus FPS. I'm talking Crysis 3, we got Battlefield 4 easy. The reason that I went with an R9 280 as opposed to a NVIDIA card is because of one game, and that's Grand Theft Auto 5 possibly having Mantle. If you play Grand Theft Auto 5 on this build as opposed to a build with an Intel CPU and an NVIDIA card, this will perform better simply because it's going to use Mantle. That's using similar hardware or equivalent hardware, but yeah, that's basically just an API built into the game that allows the game to talk to the CPU and treat it more as a upper level CPU, and it's pretty interesting kind of stuff. If you want to look more into that, you can check out Linus Tech Tips, that kind of thing. But yeah, for operating system, you can go with Windows 8.1. You can find that for 30 bucks, or you can go with SteamOS, which is free, or Linux, or some sort of, you know, Ubuntu, something like that, Linux Mint. Or if you have an old copy of Windows 7, or if you're using a hard drive from a different build, I mean, you can easily switch it over, and then you got an operating system. That's pretty much how this is going to go. You could not use this as a Hackintosh. I'll repeat, you cannot use this as a Hackintosh. I've done PC build videos in the past where people have been, "Have you can do this with a Hackintosh?" No, because it doesn't have an NVIDIA GPU or an Intel CPU, and it's not a compatible chipset. So yeah, this is assuming you have peripherals already. If you want to add an Xbox 360 controller, a wireless one can run you 30 bucks or 25 bucks. I bought this wired one for 15 for displays. I'm assuming you're going to connect this to your TV, put it underneath, and you know, play Steam in big picture mode. You can use a wireless keyboard, a wireless mouse. You can find those for 30 bucks. Altogether, you're going to be paying under 70 bucks for this build, and it's got Wi-Fi built in. It's got the USB 3. It's got 4 USB 3 actually. It has all this stuff, and it will outplay the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 in any game. And yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5, PC, mods. What else do you want in this world? I don't know, but pretty much all games are compatible with Steam, you know, on PC side nowadays. I mean, the only people always talk about how, you know, there's these exclusives that are console sellers and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, Last of Us Redux and Infamous Second Son and Halo. Like, these are, and Destiny kinda, but I mean, Destiny might be coming to PC, we still don't know. Those, like, 4 games in comparison to the hundreds of thousands of indie games on Steam, I'm definitely gonna go with the indie games as opposed to the AAA games right there. I mean, I've had so much fun playing different games, and also with this, you can play StarCraft, you can play League of Legends, you can play Dota, you can do all that kind of stuff that's PC exclusive. I mean, I'll repeat, it's PC exclusive, better visually. I mean, this system is fast, it's fantastic, it's going to be good for video editing if you really want to. I don't see any bottlenecks in this system, and I feel like when I build this and I make this PC build video, that I'll be able to prove it to you with some benchmarks. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And so if you want to see any other videos like this, subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/thegloballegacy, twitch.tv/thegloballegacy, that's twitter.com/thegloballegacy. Follow me, and yeah, peace. PC gaming, Xbox, PlayStation.